Okay, so it's pretty dark and dusty, as you can see. It is now Wednesday the 20th of November, so I've had to have a few weeks off to get back into work, sorting things out, doing other things, but I've now put all of that in. That little bit there is the last bit that I need to change, but it goes the whole way along that wall there, so building control will be happy. So now I can just do some overboarding. See all the dust still. Now I can do some overboarding on these walls, and I can use this last sheet here to fill in the bits behind there. The scaffolders have just left. They've finished taking down all of the scaffolding and the monoflex, and now the house is exposed and revealed in full. You can see up there where I've done different coats and I tried to top it up. So that's a kind of lesson learned for me. You can't just patch it, you have to do the whole lot. But as I've said multiple times, it doesn't matter because all of that's going to be covered by a roof on the side when we do the second story extension. So we'll knock that down, build up, and then either come across that way or do another gable end, depending on planning and what they want and what they ask from us. So the loft is finished. On the outside anyway. It's a bit tricky to see because of the light. I haven't even taken the stickers off the window yet. Still doing a whole load of the work internally. There's quite a lot to do there, so that's not going to happen anytime soon. Or it's not going to be finished anytime soon because we need to do the side extension. But yeah, it's come together nicely. It's rather cold and crispy at the minute. It is the beginning of December, and you'll see that not a lot has changed in here other than kind of tidying up a little bit and the odd little bit of insulation board going on here with these kind of washer brackets. They're not brackets, are they? They're washers that hold it in place nice and snug. It's really, really cold up here still. Obviously all the big gaps of insulation, well, all the big gaps under there don't help. Gaps around the windows don't help. So I really want to start finishing some of this off now. Getting it done proper. All the bathroom stuff's in here because I wanted to make a bit of space in the room, so I'm going to finish along there, finish along here. And then I can start on the ceiling and the roof. We're going to be putting one extra timber beam in here, just up there, just to help support that piece of wood, as specified by the structural engineer who came round and kind of did the final assessment. They just want one more in there and some bolts or brackets kind of holding those two in place. And same up there, just some bolts and brackets because that's already got 4 on it. So that's good. And yeah, so I'm just going to keep going round and I can finish putting the flooring down. We're going to be putting a radiator in around here underneath this window. That little post there I'll move over slightly, and then in here we're going to put a little low level radiator in, which means I now need to run the water pipes not just into there but under here and in there. So I've got to figure that out as well, how we do that, which isn't great. Thankfully none of this is down solid. I can slide and move these things, but it doesn't really make it any easier because there's timbers there, joists and all the rest of it, and the noggins. So I'm going to have to figure out something. I might go underneath all of it and run. Let me just show you what I mean. Run it all under everything, just in this void space here, rather than trying to go between the joists. Just run it under and along. I think that might be the easiest way. get to that far edge over there and then try and just push it through. But we'll see. We'll see. There's always a way. Right, I'm just doing some more overboarding, and you can see how it's coming out. There's a little gap there just because of the width. It was easier for me to measure on that side and then just do a straight one down the edge there. And I've got a whole load of offcuts here that I can work with. And I've left the wires poking up there. There's a plug socket there, and the light switch there and there. So that's all good. And I can level those up because there's lots of length extra on that. So yeah, the overboarding is pretty much done up here, except for on this side. I'm going to have to make some amendments because of the planning permission and the design and the layout for the two-story side. So our two-story side, the roof originally was going to run in parallel with this one, right next to it, and slope away, and then we were going to have another roof there sloping away. They've asked us to change it, and they want us to have a gable roof now, which goes straight up there in a ridge, same as this. So a ridge that runs out there and slopes down this way and slopes down this way, which is fine, but it means that the new ridge, because the ridge height here is going to be stepped down to about there, on the outside this slope is going to be about there, which means that that really convenient hatch that I cut just behind there to get in is useless. So now I need to put a hatch here, which means I can put a bigger hatch in and all the rest of it, but it is a bit of a faff. So I need to take this rigid board PIR out, I need to take that stud out, and I need to move it over and double them up potentially. I'm going to just double check on that. And then I can put the rigid board PIR back in the new arrangement, and I can then cut out a whole nice big gap here for us, kind of that sort of size, for us to get into the loft in there. So a little bit of rejigging, but nothing too major. But that'll come up in a new video. Also, in another video, I'm going to be doing a review on this Cyber Monday. So it's the 2nd of December now, 3rd of December, and it's Cyber Monday, and this was £70 for a Bosch professional laser, down from like 140 or something, or 130. So I was really pleased with that. It was like 54% off. So I was really, really pleased with that. And I've wanted one and needed one for a while. So I'm going to do a review on this. I'll show you, I'll set it up and I'll show you, and then I'll do a separate video on that. Right, so I've changed the plan slightly, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did over there before when I did the hatch. So I cut out the bottom of that. I was using my multi-cutter here to just run that along the back of the 2x4. Actually, it was in, oh, you can see here where there were just a couple of screws, one nail and 2 screws, so nothing much in the back there. Just cut those out. It was pressed up against the wall like this. Imagine that's the chipboard OSB there, and I was literally just running this along the back here, running it up and down, making space, and I've cut it out. And now what I can do is I can use this to put a cross underneath there as a brace and screw it up from underneath, up under there. I can screw it in here and screw it in there, and that will brace that one and bear the load down in those two. And that is my opening there for getting into the loft, getting into the loft hatch. It's 1 metre high by whatever that width is, probably 60 or so, which basically means that we can get, you know, big decent sized boxes in on their side, and that's absolutely fine. Right, I don't know how well you can see this, to be honest, because of the glare, but I've just finished putting all of this overboarding around the windows, which will really help. There was an almighty draft up through here. I'm going to put one other little screw in there, I think, just to help hold that down, but that will really help cut the draft around these windows, which are really starting to get drafty. And then it goes all around the other room, all around the rest of the room, sorry, all the way around. Sorry about the terrible quality, it's just super dark now. It's only 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's really getting dark out there, so we can see all the dirt on the windows. Yeah, getting very dark out there. I'll turn the light, I'll turn the torch off so you can see for a second just how dark it is in here and out there. So, being the middle of December now, well, not quite, no, the beginning of December, 4th of December, it's getting dark very quickly. So, I have overboarded all of this, and I just need to stick these sheets up on there. I've already cut that one at an angle to slide down there, but I've done this roof portion here. I'm going to do inside that window bit as well, and then I just need to overboard the roof, and that is that done for the insulation, which is really, really good. Still got a little bit left, or quite a lot left actually, of that stuff, which is all going to go in the studs in here, and then we can start running the dry pipe work for in the walls here. So we're getting there, it's going well. It's the next day and I figured I'd just redo some of that footage. So this is all boarded over now. Just need to do around that window surround there. And I need to finish that off once we've put some strapping up on here. We've got this metal strapping there, which is going to go around up on there. So that'll help support it. That's what's been specified by the structural engineer. We're doing the same on the other side, which is why there's that gap, so we can get access. That one's not screwed in yet, so we can get access to that up there. But otherwise, it's all done around here. It's a little bit warmer, not a vast amount warmer. Obviously, there's no warmth being generated in this room, and we still have a vast amount here that is just open to the elements there. There's no insulation in there, so I think once I get insulation behind here, at the back side of all of these, that will really, really help. Once that's done, the room will feel a bit more sealed up. So I have finished the overboarding on the walls. All I need to do now is tape the joints, and I've got the tape for that. It's here. It's just foil-faced tape. So you can see it's that sort of shiny stuff there, just on a roll of tape. There are two of them there. And all I do is I literally peel it off and run it down the joints. The next step will be putting plasterboard over, but I can't get the plasterboard up until I've got the staircase in. I can't get the staircase in until I've moved the water tank. Can't move the water tank until we've built the side extension beyond that wall. So it is what it is, basically. Can't do a lot. You'll see I have boarded around here, but you can see the outline where the hole's going to be, and I've also taken pictures so I know where to cut to be able to get back to my to get to the cutout to the hole, because that's going to be the access now through into that bit there. And I'll probably put another one just up there so I can see across like that. I'll take a picture and I'll mark it nice and clearly. So it's coming together well. That's all done. Just need to run the dry fit the pipe now. And then, oh, and run some piping up for here, because we're going to put a little radiator up under there. So run the pipe work for that under the floorboards, and we're done up here.